What do we do here?
I don't know.
Whatever we feel like, I guess.
We talk about TV.
Sometimes.
There's something in the air.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to There's Something in the Air, which is normally a spoiler-filled Wynonna Earp podcast, but not right now.
We have no spoilers.
We have no spoilers. There are no spoilers to give. Chris is looking at me like, what the fuck? This is what we do. Great. So what Michelle and I are going to do is just kind of give a quick reaction and how we thought and felt to this week's episode, which was episode 303. Is this one called Colder Weather?
It's called, hold on, give me 2 seconds. It's called Colder Weather, yes. I would just like to say that I downloaded iTunes on my computer just so that I could watch this fucking show. If anybody knows me, Monica, you do, I hate Apple with like a burning passion, and I spent money and downloaded this garbage like program onto my computer just for this show.
I wish everybody could see my face right now. My eyes are very big. Chris thought I was angry at the cat. No, she downloaded iTunes. She does not know you.
I kind of hate myself a little bit, but I love the show more than I hate myself, so it like balances out in a way.
That does track.
Anyways, I'm Michelle.
I am Monica. And we are here to Earp.
We're going to talk about some shit.
So listen, just FYI, Michelle slept like 90 minutes last night. I worked for 12 hours, and it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 Central. So we are both a little bit...
It was more than 90 minutes.
It was like 3 hours.
I sent her a snap of my Fitbit report. I didn't sleep much.
A photo, not a snap.
Whatever.
So neither of us are really like 100%.
We apologize for the low quality of this podcast, which I am going to edit right after this, running on no sleep, and posting it for the morning that you listen to this. So sorry.
There's no way this could go badly. So anyway, this is the episode where the team, the Purgatory team, deals with the aftermath of Dawes' death.
This is the episode called Colder Weather, like parentheses, everybody grieves.
Yeah. So I watched this, the 15th anniversary of my dad's death, which was, I mean, like, maybe not the greatest idea I've ever had.
Here's the thing. Like, I get why you did it, and I know that we talked about it off air, but, like, sometimes you just need to lean in to, like, your like pain and like feeling kind of shitty. Like sometimes you just gotta steer into it and deal with it.
I used to watch The Body every year, and instead I'll do something else. What was that?
My tablet's Alexa just activated and responded to a question I didn't ask it. I think it might be possessed.
All right, great. Well, let's hurry up and get this done so you can edit it before you die.
The call is coming from inside the house.
That's right. So yeah, I really liked it. I've seen a lot of TV shows deal with death and the aftermath of death, and I think I've seen very few shows do it well. Buffy was definitely one of them with The Body. That just was so...
Oh God, that episode.
Just so real. And this also was very real. Like I think the thing that I liked most about it was it showed kind of like the spectrum of reactions, because not everybody is just sad and mopey. You know, there's a whole spectrum of ways to feel and ways to react when you lose someone that you love. And I think that Colder Weather did a really good job of highlighting all of those.
Technical difficulties caused this very, very awkward segue. Apologies, but also, like, not really, because what do you expect from this podcast?
Chris, do you remember what we were talking about?
Insert Chris filling us in on what we forgot in the last 30 seconds. Chris,
wow.
You're awesome.
She is pretty awesome.
I just fist pumped like the end of like Breakfast Club. Like, yes!
Christ, I can't be friends with you anymore. I have a I have an inherent bias towards that fist at the end of the Breakfast Club move. Against it, yes.
I just celebrated it. That was the best thing I could think of. Because I can't exactly throw my left arm in the air.
Well, all right. So I've had a few people close to me die, including my dad. And I just, I feel like I went through all of those reactions. Like the uncontrollable giggles, like I can still remember stuff that made us laugh. Like just sadness and despair and needing to keep busy and, trying to hunt down your immortal friend's surprise vampire wife. I mean, all of it. Like, it just felt so real.
I shockingly, I've experienced not nearly as much loss. Like, the biggest loss that I've had was, as far as like somebody dying, was my grandma, who had a long struggle with cancer and eventually succumbed to it. And at the time I was like not doing great to begin with. And then after that, like the first half of the episode where Wynonna is like a hot fucking mess, like the moment in the woods where she is like ready to fight everybody and then realizes that she's just so fucking tired and is just like, I don't care anymore. Like I was like, oh, I get that. Like I get that completely. But like experiencing losses in other ways, because like death isn't the only way that you experience loss. Like I have witnessed and experienced like every single one of the different ways that all of our characters handled it. Like it was so realistic. Like each person kind of represented an archetype of loss, like how we deal with it. And it was so painful to watch because it was so real. Like when Waverly was panicking about making all of the sandwiches, like I almost cried because I was like, dude, I get that. Like that's so real. Trying to do whatever you can to like fix the situation, even though there's no way to fix it.
That's like the one thing she had control over, making food. She made the casseroles when Curtis died. That's her thing.
Like Waverly was grasping on to like managing the situation and like being in control. Wynonna was just like, she was just wallowing and was like, she couldn't fathom that anybody else was suffering as much as her. And it reminded me so much, like the moment that she started acting that way, even before Nicole like threw down the gauntlet of tough love, it reminded me of a scene in Pretty Little Liars where like Emily yelled at Spencer and she was just like, you don't have a monopoly on pain, Spencer. And I was like, Wynonna, you don't have a monopoly on this. Like, cut it the fuck out, even though I completely get it and I have been there and I am you. Stop it.
I especially liked I really liked when Wynonna said to Nicole, like, what do we do next? Like, I thought that was really nice. Like, I thought it spoke a lot about their relationship and how far they've come and their friendship. And yeah, Nicole's kind of the grown-up now.
I don't know that I agree with you on that. And I don't mean to cut you off. You should finish your thought. Sorry.
Fuck yeah, I should.
Sorry.
I thought that was really cool that she was like, what do we do next? And Nicole like kind of let Wynonna be, but then also sort of pulled her back when she thought she was going too far. But Nicole also got her moment to break down, because even the strong people, even the strong people break down every once in a while. I really like that they showed both sides of her. But now you can disagree with me.
I agree with you, but I think Nicole was being the strong one, not because she was actually strong in the situation, but because she felt so guilty about Doll's death. Because when someone passes away, like everybody has a completely irrational response to it. Like everybody thinks they could change something. Everybody, so Nicole was feeling just this uncontrollable guilt over it for like it wasn't her fault, but she was guilty about it as she like opened up to Waverly. And so I feel like she was locking down her emotions because she felt responsible for it. So she needed to be the one that was handling it, that was in control, that was managing the situation, because in her mind it was her fault. So she was like masking her actual emotions, and she was like, all right, Wynonna is a hot fucking mess right now. Like, let's get her in line. Like, my girlfriend is giggling about sandwiches. Like, she's clearly not okay. Like, let's get that in line. And like trying to manage everything else. And then when she did break down in Doll's apartment, where like the truth came out, and then she was like, Waverly, I don't need you to like feel bad for me. Like, it's my fault. Don't do that. Like, she was just trying to like carry the weight of the world on her shoulders at that moment.
I mean, maybe. Those are all good points. I don't know. I just like that they showed a spectrum of feelings with her, I guess. Whatever her motivation was.
I also
And
like that you let me project for 2 minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about, Michelle. It was definitely about Nicole Hott. I really have zero problem believing that she wants, was it a sky burial? That she wants to be eaten by birds of prey and then pooped. Like, I have zero problem believing that. That is definitely a Nicole Hott thing.
Oh, I might cut this out, but my first thought when she like finished that, I was like, that's so gay.
Well, so's Nicole Hott.
It just seemed, I don't know. I should cut that out. But like, that's what my first thought was. I was just like, damn, Nicole, you're really, really gay.
She is very gay.
I don't know. I like the coffin guy was like a complete piece of shit. And he's like, your husband's. And Nicole was like, oh, hell no. And then she like outlines this really gruesome, detailed way that she like wants her body to be dealt with, which really is eco-friendly.
It really is eco-friendly.
Like, honestly, it's probably the best way for us. I mean, it's just smarter that way, but like, whatever.
Cheaper. Funerals are expensive, man. And like, those death salesmen, they're a bunch of garbage. Like, I know they're just doing their jobs, but I just find the whole thing so weird. Like, put me in a pine box and just let me rot. Actually, no, I think I would rather be cremated because the thought of the thought of decaying flesh creeps me out.
My biggest thing when Nicole outlined her wishes, like, I've been watching some Bones lately, and I was like, dude, you're gonna cause like an entire crime scene. Like, they're gonna like quarantine that entire fucking forest trying to figure out what happened to you. And then like a month later, when they're like at their wits' end, somebody's gonna be like, oh no, it was just like Nicole Hott. She just wanted to be devoured by animals.
She lived how she wanted to die. Nope. That's not
my thing, I don't understand a lot of customs of like our culture. Like, weddings confuse me a little bit. And like, I don't understand the point of spending like $1,000 on a box that somebody's going to decay in.
Oh, Michelle, that's adorable.
Like,
that
just
you think that only costs $1,000.
I mean, it costs more, but like, I feel like the cheapest possible box could be that much. Like, if like you insist on like putting me in a box, like go to Home Depot, buy like maybe $100 worth of wood and build a box. Like, it'll be fine.
Can we please stop talking about boxes?
Sorry. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I do think I would rather be cremated. I think that was not because I'm part dragon. I can neither confirm nor deny that's the reason.
She's part dragon.
Shh, that's my secret. I'm super fun when it's marshmallow roasting time. It's also, although cremation is very expensive now too. And like, certain religions say that cremation can happen, but the ashes have to be buried. And they can't be like scattered somewhere or, on my mantle. I don't have a mantle. Why would I put my own ashes on my mantle? I wouldn't be putting them there. Holy shit, I'm so tired.
We're both exhausted. It boils down to like, whatever your belief system is, your belief system. Like, no offense to whatever you believe. Like, we don't want to piss anybody off.
We want to piss everybody off. You're not wrong. It's also weird.
I also don't like I don't understand a lot of things. Like, I don't understand weddings. Monica, you can attest to that because I've asked you many questions about them and I don't get it.
I mean, what's not to get? You get married and you're done.
I don't understand why it needs to be like 6 hours long and there needs to be like people there. I've never been to a wedding. I don't understand it.
You've never been to a wedding?
I was there when I was a flower girl when I was like a toddler and I ruined the wedding.
Can you please tweet pictures of that later? Anyway,
I'll have to ask my mom if she has any. I know there's a VHS tape that exists somewhere of me just running around the wedding board throwing flowers everywhere. But aside from like that experience, I've never been to a wedding and I don't understand the concept of it because it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, you don't have to have a bunch of people there, and it doesn't have to last 6 hours. I think it's, the idea that you've met this person you want to spend the rest of your life with. You stand in front of God, if that's your thing, and everybody, and pledge your love to them, and then, you have a party. I'm sure it's rooted in more cultures than that, and there's more stuff that you can do. And certain things in the ceremony that we went to one that included a hand fasting this weekend. We didn't end up doing that, but we did like this. Some people do like a wine ceremony where you mix different kinds of wine, and it's symbolizing of the lives blending together. I just wanted a reason to drink during our ceremony, but we didn't do that either.
I was gonna say, so alcohol.
A lot of people do sand. I'm very far off topic. Nobody cares what I have to say about this, but we did glass beads and made a sculpture. That's all I have.
If anybody can explain to my very weird brain why weddings exist or like ceremonies exist, please email us or DM us or like tweet specifically at me, yelling at me for being stupid.
You're not stupid. And if you get married, you don't have to do that. Chris didn't want to do any of that, and I talked her into it. She would have been happy to like have just us get married somewhere with nobody else. Why would we get married in India? I thought you'd want to get married in Spain. Yeah.
How did this conversation go this far? I'm sorry. I think I derailed it.
You really did. Anyway,
this is my mistake. I'm sorry, everybody.
Let's maybe hit like just a handful of points from that.
What happened in the episode? Let me flip through my notes.
Dude, so Doc Holliday's dead wife, Big Nose Kate, is a vampire and is alive.
I fucking love her. She's great. Like every part of her. Like when she showed up in the bar and was like, "Can I meet your friends if you're not going to say my name?" And he's like, "Hell no." So she just robs Waverly just so that she can meet his friends.
I loved that, and I loved when she stole Waverly's giant bag and she ran away and she did that like hair fluff thing.
Every part of her is perfection.
I'm super stoked to meet her.
I want to be her best friend. Like I would like hang out with her and rob people just for shits and giggles because she seems so much fun. Also, I'm a Slytherin.
Also correct. So that was pretty cool. We got like a lot of, not even hints, but a lot of teases about like Waverly being an angel or something else, or not an Earp, or maybe an Earp.
When I was watching the episode, like she started throwing those tarot cards down and I was like, dude, you all need to just go talk with her. She could solve this entire show in 5 minutes.
So
like she could throw down everything.
She drew the angel card, but it was upside down, so that kind of muddies the meaning. Like I think I said in my recap, or maybe it was on Twitter, like it kind of inverses the meaning. But I don't think it means that she's a demon. But then somebody explained to me what they said in the show. I'm like, I know, but like maybe they're not telling us everything. Anyway,
they're definitely not telling us everything. Do you honestly think the show would ever tell us everything
about anyone ever? No.
No, they don't believe in that.
We met Ramon Quinn, definitely not Riley Finn, who was like, a super soldier. I assume we'll see him again.
I kind of hope not. Like, I know we will, but like in my mind, he's the equivalent to Riley Finn, and I'm just like, please no. Like, I appreciate him as a plot device because he was the catalyst that like snapped, like he was the pity party. Like his entire existence is the pity party that Wynonna was throwing for herself. And as soon as he took it too far, she like snapped out of it and was like, here's all the reasons why you and I have both been wrong this entire time. And it was like an excellent tool to get Wynonna from point A to point B. But we don't need to see him again.
He was definitely a tool.
He was so plainly a plot device. Like when the bus came in, all I thought was Kirsten. I didn't even notice him and his stupid hand tattoo the first time.
If only. I like that Doc tied him up with fairy lights. And I like that he and Wynonna both had their list. And she says that, she says their names at night when she goes to bed. Fish, Levi, Ward, Willa, just all of them. Dolls, Eliza. Just, that was something.
I project way too much of myself onto my badass female characters. I appreciated it because she first tried to deny it with him, And then as soon as she realized that like him and her were the same, she was like, all right, like walls down, let me just throw the truth at you, because like this is what I've been trying to hide from this entire time. Like she spent the entire episode, like she was pissed at Bolshar, she was pissed at Jeremy, she was pissed at the universe. She just didn't want to deal with the fact that Dolls was gone. So she did literally everything in her power to avoid it until the big issue at hand was staring her in the face and she couldn't deny it anymore. And it was just like her, like I'm always going to be 100% about Wynonna. So like her character arc in this episode was just fucking epic.
It was.
I also would like to say that my favorite line of the episode is when Waverly asks for her purse back from Kate, and she's like, I'm a vampire, not an asshole.
That was a good one. There were a lot of good lines in this. There were a lot of like little pockets of humor, which, like I said, I just really appreciated.
I could have quoted, like, I could have written down all the dialogue of the entire episode and quoted it back to all of you, because pretty much every single conversation has had a gem in it. Like,
Yeah,
it was all so good.
Would you be sad if we wrapped up?
Is there anything else that we really need? I
mean, I could talk about how I sobbed and it made me think of my dad and it made me feel all these things, and watching characters I love go through.
Let's briefly hit on,
let's briefly interrupt me. Sure, that sounds great.
Let's briefly hit on before we close up.
I was talking. Am I on mute?
Let's finish what you're saying.
I don't want to finish it now, you stupid bitch.
All of this is staying in.
I know.
I was just gonna say the fire at the end, where like
Snoozy boots.
The Earp sisters were being Earp sisters. Like that's like the only thing we really need to hit. And then also the credits were horrible.
The credits were horrible. All of the music was a giant emotional manipulation attack.
But with regards to
you can hear me now? But
I'm sorry, Monica, are you there? Monica.
Fuck you.
With regards to the credits, like Cat Barrel's in them, so everybody who's been pissed about that for the past, I don't know however many years, it's there. You can stop now.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk now. I'll just mute myself.
I wanted to talk before, and you kept interrupting me. All of the music was great, like just every single song, including that slow redone opening song. And yeah, the Earp sisters are on the fire at the end. I mean, that's why I watch this show. Here for the sisters, not the misters.
Were you done talking now?
Yes, I'm done talking, you asshole.
I just didn't want. I felt like an asshole for disrupting you, so I wanted to make sure that you were
4 times. Mm-hmm.
Did you expect me not to?
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd let me finish my sentence instead of, when I was in the middle of a heartfelt thing, you being like, "Oh, we should." No, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about something.
You just asked if we could wrap it up.
I did, and then I was talking, and you interrupted me.
I was trying to be. I didn't realize you wanted that part in. I thought you were just rambling about what we should talk about. Sorry.
You're reaching, Michelle, but I'll allow it because you're my friend.
This is literally all going to stay in.
It was a good episode. It affected me a lot. It's really hard for me to watch. It's harder for me to watch people going through the aftermath of a death than watching the death itself. I don't just mean with regards to these characters and this show. I just mean in general. And that's because I have baggage. So that's just how I feel. I
tend to project far too much of myself onto my characters.
Your people.
To my people. It's an exclusive bunch. And this episode, like the last episode and this episode, I'm just sitting there with Wynonna like, girl, I feel you. Like I'm there. Like it's like too much projection. So like I could talk for hours upon hours, like by myself monologuing about Wynonna so far in the season, because like I have thought about it way too much. And like I probably feel way too much about it. Probably more than the show runners and writers and actors had like planned. Like I just have gone off the rails on it. But I just think overall it was great because, you start the episode with Wynonna being like too tired to give a shit if she gets killed because she's so hurt, and ends it with her saving somebody from the fate that she started the episode in. I just think that's amazing. there are a lot of other little notes that when we do our season 3 rewatch with spoilers, we will hit upon, because then it will be a full-length episode.
Oh, I agree. That's going to be crazy.
Right now, we're both sleep deprived, really tired, and I still have to edit this, and most of this is going to stay in because I'm tired. So, sorry, everybody. This was an odd episode.
Thank you for listening. If you want to give us feedback, please don't give us feedback solely on this episode. If you, that's not nice.
If you want to give us feedback on this episode, like DM me directly at Micknick1291 on Twitter and just like negatively throw all of that at me.
Right. Monica's too delicate and she can't handle criticism. If you do want to write us about what you thought about this episode, you can find all of our contact information on our website, which is www.earpsplainpod.com. You can reach out to us on Twitter, where we are at earpsplainpod. If you want to get a hold of just me, I'm what the fuck am I?
You're at Les.
Jeez. Lesbianzer is me. Yep. Laugh it up.
I once again am Micknick1291. I remember my handle. We have a Patreon that you can subscribe to. That's there's a link on our website. We appreciate any donations. The money goes to paying for our website and hosting fees, and also the extra money goes to buying shits that we can give to you.
Yes, we are planning to buy some autographs at Acon. And when I say we, I mean me.
And despite my very thinly veiled requests for autographs for myself, they're all going to be for you because Monica has executive decision on that.
You can enter the giveaway, Michelle. I just think it's shady if we're like, oh, and the winner of this autograph of Danny fucking Kind from Earthplane Pod is one of the co-hosts.
You know I don't care about Danny fucking Kind because I'm going to meet her.
Okay, wow. You heard it here first, folks. Michelle does not care about Danny fucking Kind.
I'm going to meet her. I got that thingamabob at Erpapalooza.
Oh, did you accept it finally?
Yeah, I did. I felt really guilty, but I did it at the last minute.
Good. Anyway.
I won't announce it on Twitter, and I'll leave it very thinly veiled on our podcast. But Megan Heffern isn't going to be there, and neither is Kate Drummond, and I love them both so much.
We'll see.
Anyways, those are the things that I feel very salty about missing.
Sorry. I'm happy I'm going to be there.
What were we going to talk about? We're closing out this podcast, right?
Yes. What?
You can rate and review us on iTunes.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play.
Also, now on Spotify, because I just set that shit up.
Because Michelle is a fucking beast mode podcaster, and she is amazing, and I am very lucky to work with her. If you want to leave us feedback or a large amount of stars, 5 or 5, please do that to counteract the jackasses who left us 1-star reviews, who very clearly just have a vendetta against me. Very clearly.
I'm not even going to say it's a vendetta against me, even though that's 1,000 times more likely.
Oh, I disagree, Michelle. I think it's definitely a vendetta against me. I'm way more polarizing than you are.
Moral of the story, we both think a lot of people hate us.
Yes. Well,
neither of us are particularly wrong. No offense, Monica.
No, not taken. Trust me, I heard a lot of that today. If you ever read my blog and see Earp reviews and think, hey, when are those motherfuckers going to happen again? They're happening now. I've had new ones the last 2 weeks, and then there will be several more this season. You can find those at my blog, which has a name, Lesbianzer, same as my Twitter handle, lesbianzer.com, lesbianzer.com. And they also might be linked on our website.
They will be linked. There's an Earp review tab on our website, and you can go ahead, click on that, and it has every single Earp review that we've done. I mean, mine's up there, which is probably the most important one.
That we've done.
We. Mm-hmm.
We. Yeah, I forgot about all that effort you put into it.
I edited a few of them. Calm down.
Did you?
You have a very short-term memory. Anyways, before that we get into a huge fight on this podcast,
Michelle has helped me with some of the questions, so I will say that. But
thank you for listening. This is obviously a shit show.
It may be a shit show, but it's our shit show. Thanks for listening, everyone.